Panorama.
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 Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
A minute gone past the clock from Splash 106.7, the Integrity Station. We're here to do what we love to do every single time we have the opportunity to do it, which is bring you informative, educative, and entertaining programs that you would enjoy every beat of it, basically. And Panorama is one of such programs that we air on this frequency. Splash 106.7 FM is the name. Happens Mondays through Fridays from 8 o'clock till some few minutes before 10. It's basically a current affairs program, and we spotlight issues that concern you and I, and how we can better our lot as a people, basically. I am Gbenga Fayehun, and welcome to today's conversation.
Right, I am Odera Otaru, and like Gbenga rightly mentioned, this is Panorama. It's segmented into two, the first being the issue of the day. And today we're going to be looking at justice administration in Ogun State, which is going to run from now until about 5 minutes to 9 a.m., when we go on our commercials break and come back for the second segment from the pages where we take you through the stories that you find on the front pages of a couple of our newspapers this morning. Our avenues by which you can comment on the show, the phone lines will be open, but not right now. That happens much later during the conversation proper. But in the interim, you can send WhatsApp messages 0817 555 1067, as well as on Facebook on the live video feed that you see right there on Splash FM 106.7 Abeokuta, and also on Twitter with the hashtag Panorama on Splash, so that it streamlines your comments to the conversation for today.
That's what it is. So we'll proceed straight now for the issue of the day.
The judiciary is the branch of government which administers justice according to law. The term is used to refer broadly to the courts, the judges, magistrates, educators, and other support personnel who run the system. The court applies the law and settles disputes and punishes lawbreakers according to the law.
The Ogun State Judiciary has 11 judicial divisions, namely Abeokuta, Ijebu-Ode, Shagamu, Ota, Ilaro, Ijebu-Igbo, Ipokia, Ayetoro, Ifo, Abigi, and Idioke. There are also 23 magisterial districts, 6 small claim courts, and 44 customary courts spread strategically across the state. The small claims courts are located at Abeokuta, Ilaro, Ijebu-Ode, Shagamu, Ifo, and Ota, respectively.
The Nigerian judiciary is plagued by a myriad of problems, ranging from institutional to personal problems, poor facilities to inadequate financial provisions, and procedural to constitutional problems, by which the former is being limited in its performance, in all of which Ogun State is not excluded. These problems and challenges have been the subject of numerous meetings, debates, court actions, and even industrial strike actions.
This morning, we highlight some of the problems being faced by the personnel of the judiciary and how the effects spill over to the citizenry, who may either find themselves having to utilize the system in search of justice or are on the receiving end of a disorganized system that has seen their freedom taken from them as they await trial. We have joining us to have this conversation this morning, Barrister Dotun Shotonodi. We're supposed to have the Commissioner for Justice, but he had to attend to some official assignment. Barrister Dotun, thank you so much for joining us on a short notice.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
All right.
Good morning.
let's get started
Good
with
morning.
the
Yeah.
sort of relationship that exists between the state government, because we know they're pretty pivotal in the dispensation of justice in any system, and in the state for this matter, and in this instance. I mean, how cordial is it between the lawyers or the legal practitioners and the state government?
Well, generally, I would say the relationship is cordial, where there is need for an input from any of the parties. Of course, there would be a reference. Of course, we have lawyers in the government. The Attorney General is one.
Right.
We have the Solicitor General and other members of the Ministry of Justice, rather. So we have lawyers in government, and but when we're talking about the government in and of itself, just like you said earlier on, we have the judiciary,
Right.
the executive, the legislature.
That's right.
Of course, across all spheres, there are lawyers, but those who actually are in the judiciary are the only professionals that you must actually, as a matter of course, have graduated through the law, passed through the law school before you can say, okay, you now pick up whatever role you want to do in the judiciary. So, based on that one, I'll just say, okay, yes, we have our own section of but generally the relationship is cordial.
All right. How would you rate the criminal justice administration in Ogun State? I know that in November last year, the U.S. supported efforts to strengthen with their sorry, I put this down. I want to get the name correctly. They launched the electronic court scheduling and case management system for the state judiciary. So how has that gone so far? Have they achieved what they set out to achieve? Has it made filing and processing any easier in any
It's
way?
a work in progress.
It's still a work in progress.
It's a work in progress, yes.
All right.
I was at the seminar when it was inaugurated, when we were trained and everything. And we've actually set facilities on ground, but we are yet to, well, I've not found anything online. And I know practically, basically every week, minimum, I file at least 2 or 3 processes.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I did speak with a legal practitioner, and I asked him a few questions as it concerns legal practice and what obtains, basically. And so I got to a point whereby he mentioned that when lawyers are applying for jobs and there is a certain, where you have to apply for jobs, basically. There are a series of stages before you get accepted from the state government's perspective and all of that. And then he also talked about the remuneration, that even some lawyers get paid as ridiculously as 15,000 naira. I mean, is that not a problem?
Okay, now based on that one, what I'll just state concerning that is that one is not an issue that's really, in and of itself, concerns the state government.
Okay.
Now, let me use myself as an example. When I started my legal practice, my boss called me and he said, Dotun, okay, yes, this is how much I can afford, but the best thing for you to do is that, what do you want? And we agreed that it wasn't going to pay me anything.
Okay.
I guess now. But it was going to push jobs to me. And it actually was of a great, I actually benefited more from that. Because knowing fully well that it is what I bring in that will be my own. And it got to a stage that I will go for jobs, I will do things, and I will now come back to the office and start distributing money to my seniors. Okay. And he told them, all of you people, he called them Agbaya. I guess, and he told them, how come this young man is just starting and everything, but they were on salaries and they were not enjoying it. And currently now, I also have someone with me that he actually left a better paying place to be with me, and he said he doesn't want a salary at all. Now, the state government pays its lawyers based on the salary scale that operates in the Ministry of Justice, and I know there is no one there that collects 15,000 naira. But the issue of lawyers collecting 15,000 naira, it is not in and of itself the full sum here.
Okay.
Are you with me? Rather, it is more or less like, okay, fine, I'll push jobs to you, go and do your job, but for running costs, collect this amount of money, take this amount of money. Lawyers are expected to work. And if we actually should follow our scale properly, no lawyer should be broke. Because
is the scale followed properly? That's
it's not.
question.
It's not. Okay. It's not. Because, for example, every time you have a meeting with lawyers, you should with your lawyer, you should pay your lawyer. Now, there are clients ordinarily, when I tell them, come on, and if you come in for a meeting with me, you must pay for you to, because when you go to meet your doctors, you pay.
Right.
And then so when you come to meet your lawyers, it's a consulting. You must pay too. Now, when I go to represent you at the police station for whatever reason, you must pay me to represent you. In fact, I now changed my billings recently, and I said I want to start charging per hour. Are you getting?
Right.
And I just pegged it at some power and everything. So basically,
All right, that's very good information to know.
So basically, the issue of the salary scale of lawyers is actually between the principals and their juniors. And thank God the legal profession is so vast that if you feel that, okay, it's not going to pay me in this particular area, you can leave. I guess now.
Right.
You can leave. That's just it.
All right. Do we have any cases or do we have any pro bono arrangement in Ogun State as yet?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, the NBA itself has a pro bono committee. And then apart from that one, we lawyers are also expected to at least to have a number of cases pro bono. Mine is that I make sure that at any point in time, I have at least one. So that as soon as I'm through with that one, I pick up another one. So that's what I do.
Okay, so who qualifies for pro bono?
Pro bono, generally people that you feel that they will not ordinarily be able to afford your fees.
How do you ascertain that?
Indigent people, and you know it from their briefs. For example, someone comes to me, okay, the law, I want to come in and come for a consultation. All right, come in, pay 10,000 naira. The law, hey, if you know the problem I have brought to you, it is beyond 10,000 naira. Are you getting it? Right. And then when we now interview them, okay, this person cannot afford it. Or there are some cases where we see cases of abuse, and then, okay, come, let me just pick up this particular one. I want to deal with it.
Right.
Human rights cases sometimes,
yes,
where the abused cannot afford the fees. I mean, you talked about having to come up with a system where you charge per hour and all of those. I mean, if people cannot afford that and they are victims of human rights abuse, does that mean...
Of course, the thing actually is that the state government itself already has citizens' rights department.
Okay.
I guess now that takes care of this. And it's totally free.
Okay.
Now, but the thing is that some people might say, oh, I want my personal lawyer to handle this. Once you want your personal lawyer, you pay for that. But generally, there are some people that have been to my office, and because of my caseload, I just tell them, come, go to citizens' rights. They will attend to you.
This citizens' rights, from your experience, and I mean, you're in the field, basically. How effective is the job? The fact that it's pro bono of sorts, does it not impede the dispensation of justice in this regard?
It doesn't.
At all?
It doesn't. It doesn't. The thing, the lawyers there are trained to act in that way. And the main benefit of the citizens' rights is that it is also a form of alternative dispute resolution mechanism. Now, I've had cases that, okay, I'll be on the other side with citizens' rights, and they'll be on, and we've resolved practically all the cases that have been involved in with them out of court.
So much
and all parties left and they were happy. After signing undertakings, agreements, and likes of it, they were all happy, and they all went back to fulfill their own positions. The aspects that the responsibility that has been placed on them. So citizens' rights is a very effective means. They deal with things ranging from landlord tenancy to custody to child welfare and several things like that. So they are doing well.
And the duration of time of handling the case was not...
In fact, it is faster than the regular court.
Oh, okay.
It's faster than the regular court. It is when they realize that, okay, we may not be able to do this. That's when they now say, okay, let us now refer it to a more formal aspect. Or when someone that does not have the capacity of representing themselves, I guess now, then, okay, good citizens' rights. They will give you a counsel. Again, who will represent you?
Okay, I feel we should look at, I know when it comes to the instrument that lawyers use, I mean, it has to be the law, you know, basically. Let's look at some laws, basically, in Ogun State that some will deem archaic. I mean, I heard of a certain law that was enacted about maybe 40 or more years ago in Ogun State that deals with tenancy issues and all of that, where if the landlord wants to, or the caretaker wants to eject a certain tenant, it has to be the tenant can continue staying in that house for 6 months while he's house hunting and all of that. I mean, archaic laws like that, does that not also impede the dispensation of justice?
Okay, before I answer that, let me make something clearer.
Okay.
The provision of the law is quite different from the administration of that law. Are you with me?
Right.
Now, for example, you were talking about landlord tenants now. I guess now. Now, what happens in that area is the provision of law.
Okay.
Now, but the administration of the law is the procedure that the landlord would use to present his case. Are you with me? Now, that is on that note.
Okay.
So, and when we are now talking about administration of criminal justice system, landlord tenancy does not even come into criminal justice system.
Right.
I guess now.
Right.
But let me now put that aside now. That is just to clarify issues. Now, on the issue of landlord tenants and everything,
I use that as some sort of example because I'm looking at archaic laws on a general level.
Yes.
I mean, there's one on forestry that's about 80 years and all of that.
Yes. Well, the thing is that, like I said, all parts of government, they already have their own duties. They have their roles to play. If there is any archaic law, you are a citizen of Nigeria, a citizen of Ogun State, write to the State House of Assembly, change this law, update this law, bring it into focus with the current realities. For example, a law that tells you that, well, I'm just calling it off my head now. A law that tells that the penalty for this particular offense is 2 naira. It's somehow. I get it. So come update this law. Let it come into focus with the current realities. 2 naira then will maybe buy a car. So how much will you buy a car now? Make it to be the price then.
Well, let's talk about the inauguration of the 9-man committee in 2020. In 2020, Ogun State inaugurated a 9-man committee for the criminal justice monitoring. So, I don't know if you know about that?
No.
Okay, well, that happened 2 years ago. Well, let's just say, have you noticed any form of improvement between that time and now? Because I'm trying to use this to see if they're actually, being efficient in what they're supposed to do. Have you noticed any improvements in the criminal justice monitoring?
Well, actually, while I would confess that I am not really conversant with the 9-man committee, but I must state categorically that the current Chief Justice of Ogun State, she's been doing well.
Okay.
She's been doing well. She has actually been able to bring in new reforms, get us more magistrate courts and even high courts too, to allow for reduction in the caseload of the bench, and then to make sure that the criminal justice system actually gets an uplifting. So, if it is from based on the actions that she had, the policies she has introduced, I would say there has been an improvement. Though, of course, there is still room for improvement.
What significant improvement can you point out?
Okay, one of the things that I can see is that, let me just use one without mentioning particular cases.
All right.
In the early days of my career, I'm talking about almost 12 years ago now, when there is need for, when somebody has been taken to the magistrate court and we say, okay, we are waiting for what is called a DPP's advice. That's the advice from the Director of Public Prosecution, whether this person should be tried or not, and if it's to be tried, what will be the charge. Sometimes, in those days, it used to take almost a year, 1.5 years.
And will the person remain in detention for that period?
Well, if he's not able to perfect his bill, he will remain there. However, I got an advice yesterday for something that happened in February. Okay. And that is a real improvement from 2 years. An advice yesterday for February. In fact, I was surprised. I went to court, the magistrate court, and I wasn't expecting it yet. And I did not have to call a police officer. Police officer, what's your case file? Let me go and trace the file. I did not have to call anybody from the Ministry of Justice. Everything had gone through. And the advice, in fact, the advice had already even been sent to the Commissioner of Police before it got. So it's an improvement, really improvement, because it means that even if the person has not been able to perfect his bill, he would be able to at least commence the defense of his matter before the court. And then, of course, it means that there will be judgment earlier than before. In those days, there used to be such that lawyers themselves will be frustrated in coming to court, and they just say, anytime it is out, come and call me.
Right.
You understand? So that is a big, if you don't know the impact of that, it reduces our prisons, it decongests it so much. I get now. It allows for cases to actually have a definite time frame. You understand? Right. And it also helps the psychological makeup of everyone, because it's not as if you see that one IPO has actually disappeared and you are looking for him. The matter is still fresh. So he hasn't even been transferred before the matter is on ground. So, and I think I really, really succumb. Then also the speed at which cases are handled now, wow, it's great. Especially magistrate court cases. You no longer have magistrate court cases taking years anymore. I get now. It has really been streamlined, broken down totally. We arrested someone in a particular matter, November. And that's at last week in April. In fact, he had been taken to court. He had been tried. He had tried all gimmicks to try to and he got his judgment. I get, of course, the guy was convicted for something and everything, but he got his judgment. So between November and the action was committed in November. In fact, he wasn't arrested in November. The police investigated. They took him in Ibadan and everything. They brought him back to Abeokuta. And between that time and April, everything has been completed. Bye-bye. You know, he already knows where it's going. And then the issue of the allowance for the introduction of fines. Formerly, we did not used to place emphasis on these things. But nowadays, we've been finding it easier that, okay, fine, you either go to 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 1 year, 2 years in prison, or you pay. This fine is an option. Now, if you can afford it, fine, pay it, and of course, it simply means that it's not as if you are supposed to actually, for example, there was a particular case I did many years ago. The mechanic had a car in his custody.
Right.
And while the car was in his custody, parts of the car became missing. And he looked for it, he couldn't find it. And he was arrested. Of course, because it was assumed that he stole it and sold them. So the judge just said, okay, fine, this is the total current market value of this thing. Now, since your client has decided to tow the way of the criminal administration, then fine. It becomes, and it has proven that he may have converted it. So it's either you return it to this sum and then pay 10,000 naira for coming to waste our time in court, or you go to jail for 6 months. Are you with me? So it is now geared more towards putting the complainant back in a position where they ought to have been if the said crime had not occurred. So it's better. It's better.
Okay. I want to pick out the example you gave about a case starting in February and having your advice as at when, last week, or when did you say?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yes.
Okay, so that's about 3 months.
Yes.
Yes, that's about 3 months. Should this be the standard amount of time? Because have you gone into trial? You haven't gone into trial yet.
No.
Right. So from processing to the lawyer getting his advice is taking 3 months.
Like I said,
could it be better? Let me ask that way.
Yes, it can be better.
Okay.
It can be better. But when we look at where we are coming from 2 years to 3 months. I think we should give them a round of applause. You've done well.
All right,
but you still need there is still room for improvement.
Okay, so this leads me to my proper question. Now, what should be the stipulated amount of time? In your experience as a lawyer, what should be the right amount of time?
I want to believe that within 2 weeks,
it can be achieved.
Within 2 weeks of bringing the defendant to court.
Right.
Within 2 weeks, it should be done.
Okay. All right. So we know where we're going.
Yes.
All right.
This is Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM, the Integrity Station. Head straight to Facebook to be a part of the conversation. Oh, we're due for a set of commercials now. And you could drop us your comments. We're having the conversation on the administration and dispensation of justice in Ogun State. Basically, we have Barrister Dr. Shotonade here with us in the studio, so you can begin to put your questions together. And during the course of the conversation, we'll pay attention to your calls and just have a seamless conversation, basically. So stay here. We'll be right back very shortly.
Panorama.
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 Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
We educate,
That's why we are respected. We inform. That's why we are loved. More music. We are the best. The Integrity Station. Splash.
106.7.
Ẹ̀pà náà ẹ̀, ó yá, ẹ̀ tún kìkì ẹ̀, ẹ̀ rè sí ẹ̀.
ẹ má bínú ẹjẹ ń sáré yọsẹ fún mọ́tò yìí. kí ló dé? ó dàbí wípé bátìrì ló ń yọ mí lẹ́nu.
àrè.
ó lè bí yín bẹ́ẹ̀jì ní yín lẹ́nu.
tí bátìrì bá ń yọ ọkọ̀ lẹ́nu ẹ wàá mọ̀nà lè ṣe Adco Die-Hard battery níbi tí wọ́n ti ń ta ojúlówó bátìrì mọ́tò.
ìkan náà ni gbogbo àwọn tó ń ta bátìrì ó ti sú mi.
padà Adco Die-Hard battery tayọ àwọn ẹlẹgbẹ́ wọn nítorí bẹ́ẹ̀ mi díje ni gbogbo bátìrì téèyàn bá rà lọ́dọ̀ wọn. ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ báyìí nínú àwọn oníbàárà wọn ń dùn nítorí kò sí pé mọ́tò ń paná láàrin títì mọ́. kò sí irú bátìrì tẹ̀ ń wá tí ò sí lọ́dọ̀ wọn bíi 40 amps 60 amps 75 àti 100 amps battery lówó tí ò hàn. Adco Industries USA Nigeria Limited ló ṣe ojúlówó Adco Die-Hard battery.
níbo wá nílé iṣẹ́ Adco Die-Hard battery wà báyìí.
wọ́n wà ní nọ́mbà 15 Oníkólóbó Abẹ́òkúta telephone
0703-928-5741 tàbí 0703-116-4983.
ó yá nìṣó níbẹ̀ kó lọ ra bátìrì ní kíákíá. Adco Die-Hard battery ojúlówó gbà.
Hey children, it's time to celebrate you for Children's Day 2022.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Children's Day happens every 27th of May each year, and as you know, Splash 106.7 FM, the Integrity Station, we set aside the day to allow children anchor our programs.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
To this end, there'll be an audition this Friday and Saturday, 20th and 21st of May 2022, 3 p.m. on Friday, 11 a.m. on Saturday. Do you feel you have what it takes to show the world your presentation skills? Be here at Splash 106.7 FM building, Kilometer 1, Abetu Junction, Abeokuta, Ogun State. The audition will be for English and Yoruba programs, and it's for children between the ages of 7 and 16 years.
Here's one of Nigeria's most sought-after comics. Some call him the king of freestyle, the beast from the West. We call him Dr. Smile. Buckle up for the most anticipated comedy show in Abeokuta, the 7th and final edition of Dr. Smile Unusual, The Untold Story. Special appearance by comedy king Ali Baba, featuring Clean the Drunk, Wally Agba, Uru, Kenny Black, Bash, Laugh Up, Remote, Larry J, and many more. Date May 29th, 2 p.m. at the Marquee OOPL Abeokuta. 7 of Nigeria's brightest music stars, DJ Move and DJ Kesley on the wheels, alongside 7 special recognition awards. Access 3K regular, VIP 10K, table of 8 250K, and executive table of 8 500K. Tickets are available at Spices, OPL Cinemas, Green Legacy, G-Place, Rita Spa at Parking, and all Domino's outlet. For reservations, call 0705-525-7474. This historic event is sponsored by Ogun State Internal Revenue, D&D Travels, and Hardham's Farms. Dr. Smile Unusual, the Untold Story Edition. Expect the unexpected.
The world is becoming a jungle. Crisis from every angle. This isn't good for children who flourish amidst a brethren. We have built a home for you where children flourish old and new. This is where the sun turns gold. A glimpse of the future makes us bold. Come, join us. Let us learn. Let us unlearn and relearn. The world evolves. We are prepared. We are leaders, not delayed. Nobel House College beckons on you to come and see the world anew. IGCSE, WAEC, Cambridge A-levels. One big school, different pathways. Join me at Nobel House College, Olusegun Obasanjo Hilltop Estate, Okemoson, Abeokuta. Our entrance exam date is 28th May 2022. Forms are available both on our premises and our website. I'll look forward to seeing you.
àṣeyọrí gan làgbà iṣẹ́ gbogbo aláṣeyọrí ayọ̀ aláṣeyọrí classroom and property limited lónìí ọ̀pọ̀ ilẹ̀ wọn ti di wámútìrẹ́ báyìí lórí owó tí kò ga ju ara lọ randa extension hilltop máwùkọ́ àti kọ̀bàpẹ́ 100,000 ní plọ̀tì yìí bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni lóko wọn ti di ọ̀pọ̀ yùkẹ́ mo lọ́kẹ̀dẹ̀ 25,000 ní plọ̀tì kan bẹ̀ kọ̀bàpẹ́ alábàtà òṣì 30,000 ní plọ́ọ̀tì ẹ̀ra plọ́ọ̀tì mẹ́ta kẹ́ẹ̀gbá ìdajì sí i bó sì jẹ́ ékalẹ̀ra odidi lẹ́gbàsí pẹ̀lú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àǹfààní tẹ́ẹ̀jẹ̀ lórí ilé oko wọn torí pé àwọn onírà àti onímọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ ti wà níkàlẹ̀ láti là ń lọ́yẹ̀ lórí ìkan tẹ́ẹ̀gbì sí ilé oko tẹ́ẹ̀ bára 4 mọ̀túndì abiola way ilégò daily express furniture ni wọ́n wà ọlọ́ṣogbo abẹ́òkúta Ògùn state 08033086557 08033086557 lóòótọ́ àṣeyọrí gan làgbà iṣẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ń bá ń bá wa ná dandan ni kẹ́ ẹ láṣeyọrí ayọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ tiwa àǹfààní yóò pin lógúnjọ́ oṣù táwa.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
I like talk radio.
Welcome to your number one talk radio station.
Fasten your seatbelts.
This is your favorite station.
Splash FM 106.7. Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama. Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. Panorama on Splash 106.7, the Integrity Station. We're looking at the administration and dispensation of justice in Ogun State as our topic and focal point on Ogun State for this particular week on Panorama. We try to do that at least once every single week, so we have something that is Ogun State based, basically on Panorama. And so we're looking at the judicial system for this week. I mean, Barrister Dotun is with us still. You mentioned how there seems to be a practice where civil cases are twisted so it becomes criminal and police get involved. I mean, why do people do that? And
now, the funny thing actually is that despite the fact that there has been an improvement in the speed of the dispensation of justice, both civil matters, criminal matters, it seems that people are still they're still not satisfied with that speed. So when you realize that, when we now found out that when people have civil disputes between themselves, they prefer to go through to try to look for a criminal input into such a dispute, so that if the defendant feels that, oh, there is a probability that this might actually end in incarceration or something, they will be pressured to actually turn around and then concede to the desires of the complainant, as it is. So basically, it happens a lot. It happens a lot, and but the court has actually been able to take a stand that, oh, this matter is civil in nature. It is criminal. It's come onto a, but also sometimes, of course, one or two will slip through the cracks, and those ones, it's always serious. It's always pathetic. But apart from that one, the courts have actually been trying to do that to ensure. But the issue now is that most of the time, before it gets to that level, the person would have engaged a lawyer, the person would have gone to court, the person would have gone for bail, on and on like that, before he gets his judgment, just to see that this matter is civil in nature. Why don't you go and do civil?
All right. Well, when you explained, you gave the instance of the police being more accomplice to this kind of behavior, in the sense that they allow themselves to be used. Something that should just be settled as amicably as possible is then taken to the police, and say the person that is trying to, bully or whatever, has the funds or the finances or the means to engage the police, they are going to be used. Has the justice system been able to liaise with the police in the sense that, speak to them or sensitize them on reasons why such cases should be straight away just handed to the justice system immediately without their involvement at all, so that it doesn't linger?
Well, the thing is that there is actually a procedure that matters must take from the police before it comes to the courts. Now, the police cannot just, okay, we are taking this to court. Now, there must be an input. Are you with me? And the only cases that police can bring to court are cases that are criminal in nature.
That's right.
Are you getting it?
Right.
Now, like I told you, I said our people are the ones that do these things. Now, you walk into a particular police station, you call your friend that's a police officer. My friend, the police officer, this is my tenant. He did not pay rent.
That's a civil matter.
Which is a civil matter in and of itself. And then you now get the advice, okay, yes, bring the tenant here. Now, the person will say, okay, you know that this is a civil one. We cannot do it too. You need to, there is only criminal matters that we do. Okay, I need the criminal element. Then the answer, if there is no criminal element in there, there's nothing we can do. The person now go and meet a lawyer. Lawyer, I have gone to the police and said that I need a petition. Are you with me? You now brief your lawyer. Lawyer, this person is behaving in a way that he has threatened my life. He does not want me to have peace. Lawyer will now write petition against the tenant too. It's actually landlord tenancy. Petition against the tenant for conduct likely to breach peace and threat to life. You now take it back to the police officer. And then that one knowing fully well that, oh, okay, this was actually the tenancy matter they brought earlier on. They now bring tenants. Tenants, you are giving your landlord the issues, and then tenants say, no, that's not how it is, and everything like that. Then, okay, sit down. Now, how do you want this matter to go? Tenants now stand and take a look. I will leave in 3 months. I will leave in 2 days. I will leave in 5 days. I get now.
Right.
Just putting that pressure
on the tenant.
I guess now. So I want to believe that there should be something that can be done. Of course, it cannot be immediately, because when you are under that fire, you just want to get out of it.
That's right.
But there should be something that can be done that subsequently the tenant, such a tenant or such a defendant, would be able to have a reprieve, and it would be both inexpensive and fast. Because most of the time, when you consider the cost that you would incur in trying to uphold your rights, if you cannot get someone to do it for you for free, many a times we just say, let it just be like that.
Right.
You understand? So based on that one, but the judiciary has been trying to sieve out these cases. That is bringing us back to the administration of criminal justice in Ogun State.
Okay.
They've been trying to sieve out these cases. We've had instances where even myself, I was misinformed by clients, and we took it to court and everything, and the court actually ended up ruling. I get that. No, this is everything I've found. I've not really seen a criminal intent. I guess not. But our people is more or less like they've come to understanding this. And then Nigerians generally, or let me not say Nigeria, because my practice is mainly in Ogun State. Now, I've come to also understand the fact that many times after you come to a lawyer, I say, oh, lawyer, this is what this issue is about. And lawyer says, okay, this is what the law says. These are the options we have. They will still go back again to meet their fellow beer drinking mates and everything. They will now give another advice, and they will now follow those particular ones as against what the lawyer says. So when the issues now come up later, so based on those ones, we still really need to educate our people more in terms of what you can and what you cannot involve the police in. We need to educate our people more in terms of being able to give lawyers proper briefing. And then we also need to educate our people more in that when your lawyer, who has been trained for almost 20 years, who has been trained to do this job, gives you an advice, you should at least hold on to. The best thing you can do is to seek another legal opinion.
Right.
I get now. Then this also now brings us to another issue on the administration of criminal justice, what has been done that has been better now. We now have the issue of bondsmen in our bail perfection processes. Administration of criminal justice, that is a new innovation. You know, formerly, we used to have these unregistered bondsmen who used to just stand as sureties. We call them professional sureties. Now, they were not regularized. They just did things anyhow. And we find out that somebody say, I have already stood in a magistrate court 1, 2, 3, 4. I should not go there. I should go to 5, 6, and 7. When the magistrate in magistrate court 2 has been taken, he will not go back again and then stand as surety for somebody else again. You know, those kind of things.
Right.
But now it has been regularized. Now, it also makes it possible that people who need someone to stand as a surety for them can now approach these professional bondsmen, the registered bondsmen.
Okay.
Now, these registered bondsmen, what they do is that they go to your house. Yes, you don't have somebody that fulfills the criteria of what is on ground of being a surety. But okay, fine, we are registered with state. They go to your house, they look at your house, they are certain that's where you live. They go to your place of work, they are certain that's where you work. Again, they now look for 1 or 2 of your family members. They are certain that they are in constant contact with you. I guess now. And then they'll pack all the documents, and then they will now use their license to stand for you. So anytime that you, the defendant, now jumps bail, the bondsman now bring in the family members. Are you getting now? They will bring in the family members. Oh yeah, come and produce your person. So it makes it faster. There is no issue of trying to go and look for 6 months pay slip, 5 years tax clearance, 20 years this, 30. No. You know, when they say, okay, bail is hereby granted to this person, the sum of 20,000 naira. but the surety must have a landed property building
in
Ibarra housing estate. You know, you've already disqualified most of those in Nigeria in Ogun State. You understand that kind of thing?
Right.
So, but when we have bail bonds, when we have the bondsmen, they are able to come in and they are able to say, oh, okay, we are already registered. In fact, their own registration, it involves police certification of good behavior, and they went through a rigorous process. Are you with me? They went through a rigorous process before they were chosen. So, as soon as they were chosen, they are able to now stand for multiple people at the same time after they must have conducted due diligence. So, it's also a good innovation. It's great.
All right. Let's take your calls right now. The phone lines are open 0704 400 1067, 0705 050 1067, and 0817 444 1067. Do not forget that you can leave your comments on our Facebook page on the live video feed that you see right there, Splash FM 106.7 Abeokuta, as well as on Twitter. We have left the issue of the day posted on our page, so you can either respond to that or use the hashtag Panorama on Splash to leave your comments. And then on WhatsApp, 0817 555 1067. And we have an comment here on WhatsApp. Please, the journalist that wrote the blog about the governor of Ogun State, how long will the case be taken to court? Peter from Abeokuta.
Okay. Okay. I think you should just respond to that. If you have
okay.
To that one.
Well, the thing is like I said, every part of the government have their own duties. I guess now.
Right.
Now, when you'll be taken to court or when you'll not be taken to court, when the police concludes their investigation, after which, of course, they make a recommendation to the judiciary, to the Ministry of Justice, who will write the DPP's advice.
Okay.
Are you with me? But as soon as the investigation is concluded, of course, they'll bring him first to magistrate court. If the charge that they brought is actually higher than the jurisdiction of magistrate court, then his plea will not be taken.
Okay.
Rather, they will wait for the DPP's advice.
Okay.
And once the DPP's advice comes out, then the trial starts.
All right, let's hear from this individual. Good morning. Can you hear us? Okay, we lost your call. Please do want to call again. Here are the numbers once again to call us to be a part of the conversation. We're looking at the administration and dispensation of justice here in Ogun State. Here we have that individual calling again. Good morning. What's your name?
Hello, good morning.
Afolabi, thanks for calling us.
Yes, Afolabi.
Go on, please.
Yes, let me quickly ask the lawyer in the house. Now, when it's established, what is the essence of this going to the Directorate of Public Prosecution to seek for advice whether to continue the case or whether to start the trial? What is the essence?
All right. Thank you very much, Afolabi, for calling. Your question will be duly answered. Barrister Adoto.
Okay. So, well, the thing is this. All courts have their jurisdiction. There are, for example, armed robbery, for example, now. A magistrate court cannot adjudicate, cannot sit over an armed robbery case, for example. Now, but when the police now comes, okay, we have concluded our investigation. We have found this guy that is culpable of armed robbery. We have prepared the charge him for armed robbery. That is what we are bringing to court. Now, when the magistrate sees it, wow. Armed robbery is a case, is one that, okay, if the guy is found guilty, I guess now, and especially if he took a life along with it, he is liable to be killed. Okay. I guess now. His sentence is death. So we now say, okay, without due diligence, we should now just sentence the guy to death. No. Instead, now police have done their own part. Now let us now take it to lawyers who are seasoned. Now police have been trained in police college how to write the charges and everything based on their investigation. They will now gather everything that they have. They will now send, that's what we call a case file. Okay. They will now send it to the Ministry of Justice, the Department of Public Prosecutions, who will now sit down. Okay, different cases have stated that if you want to charge somebody for armed robbery, that these are the things that you must prove. Are these things in this file? They'll now begin to look through them one by one. If they can find all the elements there,
all of them,
all the elements, if they can find them there, okay, fine, we consent armed robbery. However, if they cannot find everything there, they can say, okay, make it just robbery, not armed. Okay. Or you can make it just breaking an entry. Right. Or it can be stealing. Or Or if they realize that, it seems there is one, anything like maybe hand of Esau, voice of Jacob. Again, they realize, we've not really found any elements in this thing. So we are not recommending any charge. Let the person be discharged and acquitted.
Okay.
I guess now. So it's to get another look at the facts.
Okay.
So that it preserves our lives and our sanctity and our way of living.
All right. You can put more calls through to us now. 0817 444 1067. We'll have another person here. Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name?
Yeah, Olabode is my name.
Thanks for calling us. Olabode, go on.
Yeah, ordinarily, I would have just taken the back seat and learned this morning because we are discussing strictly professional issues. But one claim our barrister made in the studio, and he was very emphatic about it. It actually drives me to call him. You made the claim that there has been a kind of significant changes in the administration of justice right now, that things are much more expedient right now, unlike what it used to be before. Now, talking about that, so the case of the recent killing we had in the first-degree murder of that poor girl, like I said yesterday, although I don't know the current situation, but I know that it's already in the corridor of the law court. So what exactly is this stalling our justice system? So not having meted out, to me, what?
All right, we lost a lot about it there, but perhaps if you can help us to be specific with the case you're trying to reference, maybe that will help further. Okay, so we don't assume, basically.
Right. We do have an idea, but we need you to be really specific of the case that you're talking about. In the meantime, we have comments on WhatsApp. Olawale from Abeokuta says, good morning. I think I've learned a few things this morning. I never knew there were registered bodies for sureties, but with your guest, now I know. Okay, well, thank you to Barrister. Please, you said the bondsman will visit a family member that is constantly in contact with client. If the client jumps bail, will the family member be responsible for not being able to provide the client? And what will be the charges of the family member? Will the family member sign when the bondsmen come? Please educate us more.
I'm sorry, before you respond to that, let's take this call first. Hi, good morning.
Yeah, I'm calling back because the network. So I was referring to the case of the poor lady that was gruesomely murdered for ritual purpose. I've forgotten the name of the lady now. So what exactly?
That involved the teenagers? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that teenager.
All right, go on.
And it's not only a case. We've had about 3 or 4 high-profile cases like that. First-degree murder here in Abeokuta. And I'm very sure the case is already in the corridor of the law court. So what exactly is this stalling our judicial system? So nothing having meted out, what we call a like-for-like punishment for the offenders. So talking about that. So that is one. And again, that alone, is there a way whereby cases can be attended to in retrospective? So we have high-profile cases here in Ogun State that still dates. We still haven't found out what exactly went wrong. Who killed them? Should I start mentioning names? The case of Akwagolumide of the golf club. So what is the current situation of things now? I know you'll be privy to that information, and a host of others like that here in Ogun State. One of another XY gubernatorial aspirant. What is going on? We haven't had anything of them. So the thing will just die down like that, and the family will just be, tell them to just console and take it like that. That's gone, it has gone.
All right. Thank you very much, Olabode, for talking to us. We appreciate you. So you have 2 questions to attend to now.
Okay. I actually have 3 questions.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Let me quickly start from the last one. It's faster to answer that. Now, concerning the high-profile cases that you mentioned, if the police have not yet said that we have found, we have concluded our investigations and we are bringing somebody, so and so persons before the court cannot start prosecuting or cannot start adjudicating because we are not the ones the court is not the one that will do the investigation.
Right.
It's the police. It's not the job of the courts to begin to go about to do forensic examinations. No. It's the police. So once the police concludes the investigation on those ones, they'll bring them to court.
Okay.
I guess now. Now, so if they have not concluded them, well, there's no sort of limitation on murder. They can do it anytime.
Okay.
Now, on the issue of the speed of this thing concerning the murder matter and everything like that, that is cordial of the court. Now, many at times, I always say this to people. When a case is fresh, people say, this case, this is what's happening and everything. But by the time, okay, I told you that it used to be 2 years before the advice will come out. Now, imagine a matter that comes out 2 years after, that the advice comes out 2 years after, that is when the trial actually is going to start. There will be no news concerning that at that time anymore. So nobody is actually following it up. But at the end of the day, it still would be done. Are you with me?
Right.
Now, but where we have, if the matter is already in the corridors of the law, then maybe it has been directed to the DPPs at the office and they're waiting advice. Now, there are some times that they will say, okay, this matter has actually been directed to the DPP, but the case file is yet to be transferred. So when it is done, then it will be done. But I'm quite sure that those in the right corridor, those in the places that are actually working on it. Now, finally, on the issue of the family member and bondsmen. Now, the bondsmen are created, or they were created and registered, so that part of the stress of the family members will be reduced. Right. Nobody wants their family members to just be held continuously in incarceration without seeing the light of the day, especially if they feel that this man is actually guilty, is innocent. Are you with me? Now, but also, I recognize that not everybody can fulfill all the conditions. I give you one now that I did that one was actually a federal court in any case. Right. That this person, you are given bail, no problem, but the person that's going to stand for you must have a certificate of occupancy and a land built on that, a property built on that land.
Estate, right.
I guess now, in housing estates. You know, it has already disenfranchised most of us. I guess now. So, but when you are now have someone who has been recognized by the state, has been able to bring in the
to fulfill the conditions.
Yes, to bring in the defendant. Because what's the essence of bail? The essence of bail is just to allow the person come for trial. And I always tell people that come, even if you fight with your lawyer, as long as you appear for your trial, you are already 50% okay. Are you with me? Right. So based on that one now, so the bondsmen now will need to conduct due diligence because they don't know these family members before. Okay, so get to know their houses, go around, at least get to know them, so that if there is need for them to look for them to present their family member, they'll be able to do that.
All right, we'll have to
Let's take this comment real quick. As regards the journalist that was arrested by the state government for its supposed libellous write-up against the governor, is it proper to arrest the man before any concluded investigation? Also, is this journalist's case not a case of oppression and the use of power against the less privileged? Yes, I think that's it. That's from Ola Joel from Itaoshi.
Anytime there is anyone that is suspected of anything, there must first of all be an arrest. Then they will now get the person's statement, then there will be an investigation.
Okay. All right, that's how far we can go on this segment of the show. We have to proceed on a commercial break. And let's thank Barrister Dr. Shotonode for coming through this morning. We appreciate you for your expertise and your dispensation of knowledge.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we'll go on that commercial break. When we come back from the pages is where we'll get started from. Stay here.
Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama. Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
A wonderful morning starts with integrity. The integrity starts with you.
Splash FM 106.7.
Overjara no the body, it's plenty. Overjara no the dry pocket. Overjara no the way, it's plenty. If you want 8 times, the value to flex. If you know people give you Overjara, Overjara. Or see the charge will give you Overjara. You deserve Overjara.
Get 8 times the value of any recharge plus double data and 1,000 Naira activation bonus when you buy a new SIM.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Belkuta, congratulations, yo! Hospitality industry leader, don't land it back. For
for Abeokuta. Yes, Academy Suits. The Babala Hotel in Wetanda for Ibadan. The cultural capital of Yoruba land. Don't open for Abeokuta Academy Suits. Una home away from home hotel. We get the Ogbonga comfort for we customer. Plus include leisure with proper cleanliness. Now Academy Suits to get arm. Plus include Olympic size swimming pool with security now watertight for our restaurant. You go Baladu Continental and the local food with the check money. Everything about Academy Suits. Now quality with unbeatable low price. To confirm waiting at the talk. Forward to match now to Academy Suits. Went and Dagidiba. Beside Abadia Central Mosque. MKO Abiola Way Abeokuta. Abikukuma they call this number 0817-6666-6601. Academy Suits. Now home away from home.
One na dey go sef, one na body go dey drive for stand upon say bike don scarce or people wey dey bus stop plenty. You come wait so tey your appointment don pass. Make una mind the day coole. Akko ride na better option for every corner wey dey Abeokuta as e big reach. No fear o. Anything wey be safety dey assured. On a ride go dey go serene. The riders plus the passengers dem get security wey tanda gidiga. Wait una still dey wait for. Go download the app on Google Play Store. Now, if na iOS, e still dey go immediately. Na 500 naira bonus go stand for on a happy bam. Akko ride with shaking money on a go carry body reach the destination with on a mind gangan. No dey waste time. Oya sharply join body for the website www.akkoride.ng. No come forget say on a go download the app on Google Play Store and iOS on a security data dagidiba. Akko ride. Our riders them get identification helmet plus jacket we get number. Akko ride. E dey safe, e dey secure, e still con dey affordable.
ABR ọ̀rẹ́ àgbẹ̀ àbísúyọ lóko bọ̀pá dé. Wọ́n ní ẹ ò gbọ́dọ̀ kárí ẹ̀ lórí ìgbà ọ̀tún. Pàápàá àǹfààní tó gbọ́mọpọ̀ dáadáa. Ilẹ̀ oko mo lọ́gẹ̀dẹ̀ orílẹ̀ ìlúgùn ọlọ́run dá 25,000 ní plọ̀tì báyìí. Ẹ ra plọ̀tì mẹ́ta kẹ́ ẹ gba ìdajì sí i. Ó sì jẹ́ éèkà lẹ́ra ẹ gba plọ̀tì kan sí i. Ilẹ̀ àgbẹ̀ kọ́bapá alábàtà ọ̀pẹ́jì 30,000 per plot. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ra plọ̀tì mẹ́ta ìdajì lẹ́gbà sí i. Ó sì jẹ́ éèkà lẹ́ra ẹ ó gbòdìdì kan sí i. Àwọn onírà ti wà ńlẹ̀ láti ra èrè oko yín. 39 NTA Road Ọ̀gbẹ̀ Abẹ́òkúta 08033706236 08033706236. ABR ọ̀rẹ́ àgbẹ̀ àbísúyọ lóko bọ̀kọ̀ ìgbọ̀tún fáwọn àgbẹ̀. Àǹfààní yóò pin lógúnjọ́ oṣù táwọn.
Bàbá ó ti dá níwájú ọ̀kadà yẹn ẹ páàkì mi báyìí máa sọ̀kalẹ̀ bí.
ẹ farabalẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kí n páàkì dáadáa náà.
ẹ ṣàbẹ̀ mi ṣí bùtù kí n kó àwọn ẹrù mi bọ́lẹ̀ kúrò ní mọ́tò yìí. ká ló máa bá mi gbá àwọn ẹrù yìí o. Túndé jọ̀ọ́ jẹ́ ká jọ káwọn ẹrù yìí wọlé.
Ìyá àánú wá wàrà lé ẹ ibo ló ti rádùn ẹrù ọmọ tó pọ̀ tó yìí.
Kí ni nǹkan náà? Àwìn ló máa jẹ́jà rẹ̀. Ẹyẹ kìí ṣe ká fi yín mọ̀nà. Ìwọ náà tó lóyún. Ó jẹ́ tètè nìṣó ní the Ennis Global Covenant Baby Care. Àwọn olóṣìlẹ̀kùn àǹfààní aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ sílẹ̀ fún gbogbo aláboyún pátápátá láti máa dá owó ẹrù ọmọ wọn díẹ̀díẹ̀ sọ́dọ̀ wọn. Yálà oní o, bàbá ń bẹ̀ lọ́hùn ni o. Kódà ìyá Tèmídire àti Yaza náà. Ibẹ̀ làwọn náà ti ra gbogbo ẹrù ọmọ wọn. Ìṣirò ẹrù ọmọ tẹ́ fẹ́ tí ò sí ń bẹ̀. Pẹ̀lú àǹfààní san díẹ̀díẹ̀ yìí. Owó ọjà wọn ò tún wá hàn rárá. Ó jẹ́ tètè nìṣó ní the Ennis Global Covenant Baby Care tó wà ní nọ́mbà 9 Oníkólóbó Road ládojúkọ Catholic Comprehensive High School lóníkólóbó Lábẹ́òkúta. Láti lọ jẹ àǹfààní yìí a sì tún lè kún wọn sórí 0818-303-5977.
kájọ oúnjẹ tó dáa kọ́kọ́ ẹ̀ ní o balẹ̀ tó nílé tàlejò tó wọ̀lú Abẹ́òkúta bí a ti ń béèrè pé ibo nílé oúnjẹ ìgbàlódé táwọn ti lè jẹ oúnjẹ gidi má dojú tì mí Olúwa Foods ńlá àwọn èèyàn ń júwe kò lè má rí bẹ́ẹ̀ tọ́rọ́jọ́ wọn ti pẹ́ nínú kátó oúnjẹ aládìídùn àgbékalẹ̀ ọ̀tún sílé oúnjẹ má dojú tì mí Olúwa gbé wọ̀ kò lẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ni tẹ́bi òpá gan bá wọlé síbẹ̀ yóò fẹ́ jẹun níṣá pẹ̀láwọ̀ fried rice àti jollof rice tó rẹ̀ dòdò nínú glass. Wá jẹ̀mí lẹ̀fọ́ ẹlẹ́gùsí àtẹ̀fọ́ rírò wí ewédú àti gbẹ̀gìrì ògbẹ́yìn òkèlè lóríṣiríṣi àjàjàjà àwọn catfish wẹ̀láwẹ̀lá tilapia fish ògúnfẹ̀ àti káwọ́mẹ̀tì rẹ̀ rí gidigidi.
Má dojú tì mí Olúwa Foods. Do you want the best local or international dishes? We got you covered as we give you the best when it comes to indoor and outdoor catering services. We also have bar where you can get any drink of your choice.
Ẹ kàn sí wa lónìí Má dojú tì mí Olúwa Food House tó wà ní number 1 Abiola Way Má dojú tì mí junction Abẹ́òkúta ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn telephone 0806-522-6442. Má dojú tì mí Olúwa Foods, dishing out the best considering your budget.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
I like talk radio.
Welcome to your number one talk radio station.
Fasten your seatbelts.
This is your favorite station.
Splash FM 106.7. Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama. Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
Nine o'clock on the dot this morning. Your dial is still tuned to Splash 106.7 FM. This is the Integrity Station. You're welcome back to Panorama. And we're on the second segment now from the pages. I have with me the Vanguard newspaper.
I have Nigerian Tribune.
All right, headliner 2023. We are yet to zone presidential tickets. That's from the APC. Shifts presidential convention. Governor, National Assembly's primaries. PDP lashes APC presidency over delay in signing Electoral Act amendment. Says as of today, parties don't know delegates for certain. Whether Buhari signs or not, APGA is ready for its primaries. That's coming from Oye. Buhari weighing legality of amended section. That's from the presidency. All these stories can be found on page 5 of the Vanguard this morning. IPOB. We have no plan to ban Facebook. That's from the federal government on page 8. Police parade kidnappers of Bethel Baptist School, Greenfield varsity students in Kaduna and others on page 8. Olubadan Council lifts ban on promotion of chiefs installation of Mogajis on page 10. 2023 APC implosion imminent over Northern agenda to retain power. That's from Farouk on page 24. Secession, your allegation against us, fictitious monologue, NEF replies presidency on page 9. Resignation, only Buhari can decide minister's fate. That's coming from Lai Mohammed, also on page 9. Security threat, how residents, Oniru pushed Sanwo-Olu to ban Okada in 15 local councils on page 7. APC presidential primary, it is either Amici or me, no contest between us, says Jigawa Governor Badaru on page 28. Again, NERC moves to adjust electricity tariff as poor supply persists on page 19. 2023, Nigerians need to have control of nation's economy, says Jack Rich on page 13. There's Atiku Abubakar meets Kaduna delegates, and there's a picture here of the governor of Kaduna State, Dr. Ramalan Yero, former PDP national chairman, Senator Ahmed McCarthy, and former vice president, PDP presidential aspirant Alhaji Atiku Abubakar during his meeting with PDP delegates in Kaduna yesterday. IPOP to security men, go after enforcers of sit-at-home orders. Warns against killing of innocent Igbo youths. Court rejects Kanu's bail request, strikes out FG's fresh charge. Simon Ekpa tackles Nyako for refusing Kanu bail. 5 gunmen arrested in Anambra. Armed arsonists set in Newi South local government area secretariat ablaze on page 11. All these stories. Osun 2022, court declares Adeleke PDP's valid candidate on page 10. And finally, finance minister suspends AGF on page 8. These are the stories that you can find on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Let's take you through Nigerian Tribune and the stories on the front page. Here they are. The big one is states alleged 80 billion naira fraud. FG suspended accountant general, postpones FAAC meeting. Find that on page 6. Makinde Abdul Razak flag off 76.6 kilometers of Bomosho Isenyi Road. You find that on page 4. Gunmen kill security guard relatives of local government boss in Ebonyi. You find that on page 28. Rivers APC, many injured at Secretariat as police shoot to disperse protesters. You find that on page 15. APC adjusts timetable, shifts convention primaries dates. A writer says silent on zoning arrangement. You find that on page 16. Malami talent show up at FEC meeting. You find that on page 2. Police arrest 2 over kidnap of Greenfield varsity students. The writer says recover 61 firearms, 376 ammunition, 41 AIL rifles, 2 million naira cash orders. You find that on page 28. Oshun Guba court affirms Adeleke as PDP candidate. You find that on page 23. Plateau APC Guba primary gang up against Lalong's preferred aspirant. You find that on page 15. APC presidential primary. It is either Amechi or me. No contest between us. That's coming from Jigawa governor. You find that on page 16. Lagos bans Okada in 6 local government areas, 9 LCDAs. Mayhem as Okada riders set Abuja market ablaze. You find that on page 29. Nant threatens to shut down international airports nationwide. The rider says begs Atiku Tinubu others to raise money to meet ASU demands. You find that on page 22. There's a picture of the suspect who were arrested in connection with the kidnap of Greenfield varsity students. About 3 of them is a certain police officer and the suspect themselves, and the things that were recovered from them, which include 61 firearms, 376 ammunition, 41 AIL rifles, 2 million naira cash, and several other things that were recovered from the suspect in question. Those are the stories on the front page of Nigerian Tribune today. We have joining us for this segment of the show, Dele Ayodo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You look pretty a younger kind of thing.
Don't go there. Thank you. Good morning, Ogun. Good morning, Nigeria.
All right. So let's start from Lagos and its decision to ban Okada in 6 local government areas as well as 9 LCDAs. The writer also talks about Okada riders setting Abuja market ablaze in another development, I believe. Now, here's my question in this regard. While it is understood that this is some people's livelihood, their own means of living, should more be done to really rein in maybe criminal elements amongst the Okada riders? And how is it very easy for, you have some sort of altercation with an Okada rider as an instance, and before you know it, thousands have gathered supporting the bike man in question, and it looks as though they just don't want to hear anything. They just want to support their own man.
And in addition to that, the ban has actually, this is the second ban, and the first ban has actually not been lifted in Lagos, right? So
it's not the second, it's the third or fourth.
The ban has never been lifted. It's just the bike riders continually flouting the rules of the ban. So what do you make of this whole situation?
All right. Once again, thank you for having me. Just like you said, I think the writers of those reports should have said re-banned Okada. I remember very clearly in 2005, Ashwaju was governor, but I met in of Lagos State. I attended that press briefing where the then Commissioner for Information, Dele Alake, announced the ban. Suddenly, we don't know. It was never officially lifted. They returned to everywhere that was banned. Again, when Babatunde Fashola was there, this same announcement, proclamation was made. And I remember that hundreds of Okada were seized and crushed during his era. As soon as he left, gradually, somehow, they returned. So I don't know why government is not consistent or cannot implement his own rules. I'll give my opinion as regards that. But there are so many instances, examples, in favor of government banning Okada or against the use of Okada, at least in Ogun and Lagos State, that I know very well. Some of them are the so-called unruly indiscipline, out of law, what do they call non-state activities of these Okada just as I was coming under the bridge in Ibarra, everybody stopped because the light showed red. I just see this one. It did not even try to look right and look at left, whether they go. And so there are several examples, reasons that are good for anybody to stop them, not to talk of the risk of the people who ride it and the passengers. The statistics and facts in many of these orthopedic centers in hospitals confirm this, that a high percentage of victims or patients in there are Okada victims. So that's a bit. Having said that, because of the other side of the argument for Okada, for instance, a lot of people who ride, who use it, will tell you it's about the most convenient when there is no rain. It's about the fastest in this situation that we are in this country. And because of our poor road network, bad road condition, Okada gets to almost everywhere at your comfort.
Right.
So these are some of the arguments in favor of Okada. I tell you, in the entire Yewa land, except Songo and Ota, there is no means of transportation other than Okada. You can't get a taxi within the city, so you only use Okada. So people will also say that's their means of livelihood. But the solution, as far as I'm concerned, are there, like I said. One, you can create, like I saw in Republic of Benin, from Porto Novo to Cotonou, or Cotonou, like they call it. You create, and like they say they have the BRT lane, you create the Okada route. On the sideway, just as you are having the walkway, you have the Okada way. On the two sides, the left and the right side, so that they go on their way. Because the fact is, for today, transportation using the Okada has its own advantage. So that's one. Government will make efforts to do that. Two, there should be strict monitoring. I don't want to say regulation. Strict monitoring of the activity, because it is true that a lot of Okadas are used for criminality. They are used to survey or surveil where they want to act. They are used as getaways. They are used for so many other things. If you use it in the night, late hours, you will know that out of every 5 Okada that you take, you are at risk of 3 being criminals. So government should regulate it. I know that those two states, Lagos and Ogun, have attempted. That's the failure of government in almost every part, and that's the failure of structure to control it by registration. This has not worked. It has not worked because it has also been serving as means of revenue collection for government. And that perhaps, from my point of view, also adduced to the fact where they don't have to announce that the ban has been lifted before you begin to see them on the road. But government themselves will begin to feel the pain of the money they are bringing. So these are measures they can take. It can be enforced. It can be enforced. But unfortunately, our structure is so permissible that everything can go in and get away.
All right, let's move to another story now. The fate of the ministers that, of course, following the story, the ministers that had governorship or presidential aspirations were asked to resign. And some have pulled out. They have pulled out of the race for whatever position that they were vying for in the first place. But now there's the call for, they should still be made to resign, because it's like, okay, it's now a case of, rather than go for a situation that I am unsure of, I'm not sure if I'm going to get the post that I'm after, I might as well remain here. So there's a lot of angles that are coming from the integrity of the people that are filling these positions now. And now they're calling for either their sacks or resignations from the present posts that they hold. How do you react to this?
Again, the query I have for structure, building a structure, I would have thought that their fate should have been decided by the Constitution, by the rules, by the laws, not by an individual or the occupier of an office, like the Minister of Information told us. So I think that's, again, one of the pointers to the faulty structure we have. However, having said that, I also think those who said integrity or not, I don't see what integrity has to do. It's a personal decision or an official decision. You weigh your options. In the first time, a lot of people also said many of those who are claiming to aspire for a certain position are really do not mean to do so. They just want to test the field of the public, see what reaction will come from some people and their environment. It's not that they really want to go for it. And the other story also is that many of them have said they only announced, they didn't officially. For example, the case of Polytalent, it's not that she officially said she bought form or submitted form. She only announced. So that officially did not mean she's in the race. Right. So those are the issues. So to me, I don't see what happens to the integrity. It's a political thing. You can be in, you can be out. So I don't know how their integrity comes to question in that regard, except you want to talk of antecedents of some of them. For instance, the Attorney General, people want to talk about him in particular because he's been on the wrong side of people's emotion and thoughts all through his career as the minister. So perhaps that's the angle in which people are looking at it and say, oh, this one again. So besides that, I don't think there's any official thing. So their fate should not have been decided, should not be hanged on Mr. President or Buhari, Muhammadu Buhari, but rather on the position of what our law says.
But, you can't overlook the fact that this is just a new amendment. It was just passed into law how many months ago? So, really, well, I don't know. The provision for this particular case might not have been included because it is ascertained or it is assumed that when you're trying to run for a position, you resign from your current position. But I don't think it was put in the caveat of what happens when you decide to withdraw from your aspired post. What happens to your present position? I don't think that was put in there.
Odera, you are correct, but let me just quickly make a correction too. The fact that the law was signed today did not mean the law has no position. So we should look at what the position says. Right. That's one. So whether it's a new law or not.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is...
No, I understand. Let me just say, I think in a civilized society, rather than all these debates, emotion, and insinuation, people like Femi Falana who've won, the National Assembly themselves, who made that law and felt that law is being disrespected, should have gone to court. That's what I would have advised. Go to court, let's test it. Right. So let's have a judgment. Let's have an official, a legal position on that, rather than what even the Federal Executive Council can go to court so that the Mr. President is vindicated on that position that, okay, I'm right to retain them. So I think that's what should have been done in a civilized society, rather than this public and media trial of the event.
All right, let's move on to another story, and it involves the 2023 elections and the decision of the APC to suspend or to adjust, not suspend now, to adjust its timetable and shift convention as well as dates of primaries. I mean, the PDP also did this. We also do understand that APC is silent on zoning, and they're just about 14 days, according to our next timetable, for them to be done for this particular event. I mean, it seems as though the APC and the PDP, they're just trying to observe each other and see who makes the first move and then maybe go the other way. Does it feel that way to you?
Yeah, of course, it's shadow boxing. It's not new. It's not the first time that is happening. And I don't think it's wrong as a strategy for any of the political parties. Remember that initially it was almost certain and obvious that the APC candidate would come from the South. But because it was getting obvious too, or clearer, that the PDP candidate will be a Northerner, so APC needs to adjust its tactics to give them the winning position. So that's why you see that suddenly APC has no position on where the candidate will come from. Suddenly you see some names from the North coming up as aspirants. So those are shadow boxing. It's not new. It's not wrong in policy. And of course, you have to wait, look at the feelings, feel the pulse of your opponent before you take a final decision. I'm glad that INEC, the umpire, has insisted that they are not going to shift their own timetable.
Right.
So that will force them or flog them into taking a decision. I'm talking about the political parties. And you also see that it's just a day in between or hours in between. If they had the opportunity to even push it longer to see what the others would do, they would have done that. To somebody like me who's been watching them for a long time, there's nothing new. There's nothing strange in it. It's all about the tactics to get to have an advantage over the other one, particularly those two main political parties. Why are we not talking about the other 16 political parties? They're expected. These are the two best, or the two, well, people will just say, may not agree. Okay, the two most available, PDP, APC. That's why we are talking about them. The other 16 is like some of them already from day one knows who their candidate will be. You understand? So it's all about politics and getting an advantage, getting ahead of your opponent. That's it.
How big will this issue of zoning be for these two parties in having to field a candidate for 2023? I mean, you talked about how it looks as though they're watching each other, and if this one goes one way, the other will feel, okay, maybe I should go the other way, and all of that. I mean, zoning, how pivotal would it be to the chance of any of those parties?
I tell you, it's going to be a big issue, particularly for the voters. When I say voters, non-party members.
Okay.
It may not be a big thing for non-party members. They will say whoever the party chooses is the one we'll work for. And that can be correct, largely correct, that whoever the party chooses, even if it's not their choice person, they will have to work for that person. But for the voters who are in the majority, it will. The ethnic issue is very high, particularly in the South. The South will feel cheated. They'll feel deceived. And if you affirm the insinuation of some people that a particular group in the country is getting more domineering and believes or wants to assume, abrogate power to itself at the expense of the meaning and reducing the others. There's this comment, I've not read it, I just heard from somebody that one of the leaders from the North said a particular group, yes, agree that a particular group in the South calls them goats. But they agree that they are goats. But because they are goats, they have their grasses in the South. So they'll come to the South to eat their grass at will. I just said that I've not read it. It's not that I supported whatever interpretation. Right. I just want to use it as an analogy. That shows that that sentiment of where I come from is very rife among us in Nigeria, particularly again when the almost preponderance of opinion is that a particular group has also not done well to carry the other group along. So it will have a huge influence. And then the religious factor also counts. You see Khan taking a position already. And basically, statistics shows that the South is more Christian than the North. So this will definitely affect the vote at the general elections. But for the party actors, it may not matter at the end. I don't think it favors anybody, even as big as Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to dump any of these two parties as a protest for not clinching the ticket. I don't think it will favor anybody at the general election. Okay. So I think it would just be wise for anybody who loses to just abide with the sportsmanship spirit and stay in.
Okay.
We're due for a commercial break.
We have commercials that we have to take right now, but stay tuned. When we come back, Panorama continues.
Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama. Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
Don't dare touch that dial. It's Splash, your integrity station.
Ultimate Landmark Schools don't talk say they're not ready to make your dream of giving your child qualitative education a reality. We make education affordable, easy, and attractive at Ultimate Landmark School. Our learning environment is conducive. We teach sciences, mathematics, English language, and other core subjects. At Ultimate Landmark School, a government-approved school with WAEC and NECO accreditation, we also offer vocational skill acquisition. Admission is ongoing into all our classes. We are situated at 31 Lagos Road, Puri, Lafenwa, or at Operatu Estate at Deun. Also at opposite Car Wash, Okeagbede, Lafenwa, Abeokuta. Telephone 0803-536-8194 or 0810-308-7154. Ultimate Landmark School. In God we trust.
Entrance examination comes up on the 21st of May 2022 for the first batch, 25th of June 2022 for the second batch, and 28th of July 2022 for the third batch.
bí ojúmọ́ ṣe mọ́ làwọn tó fẹ́rẹ̀ ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ handset ni wọ́n ń pọ̀ sí i. ibi tí wọn ò bá yà sí láti ra ojúlówó ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ ló ń ṣe wọ́n lọ́kàn kámi torí wọ́n ń ṣẹ́jú sí wọn lọ́tún ni wọ́n tún ń pè wọ́n lọ́sì. ó yẹ ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n ó gbọ́ ká má wulẹ̀ ṣẹ́jú sí oníbàárà mọ́. ọ̀dọ̀ símọ̀ tó ń tẹ ojúlówó ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ ni wọ́n ń bọ̀. àbí ṣẹ́ẹ̀pẹ́ mọ̀ ni símọ̀. bẹ́ẹ̀ èrè àjẹjù kò tún sí lọ́rọ̀ wọn kì í pààrọ̀ bátìrì tó bá fóònù wá torí àtúntò tà á fẹ́ lómi ìní fọ́lùkọ. símọ̀ mà ní àyè san díẹ̀ kó gba fóònù máa wá sanwó tó kù díẹ̀díẹ̀ kí lè ta fóònù símọ̀ ló fi ìyàn lọ́kàn balẹ̀ jùlọ. ó yá gbé fún símọ̀ ní torí àǹfààní ń bẹ fún oníbàárà tó bá bá wa ra fóònù lóṣooṣù láti fi ẹ̀bùn tó jọjú ṣèfàjẹ́. ó lè jẹ́yìn lẹ máa jẹ ẹ̀bùn tó ṣù yìí. gbogbo ó dòkè téńté lókè ìléwó. bí láfẹ́ wọn bá súnmọ́ ẹ̀yìn àdójúkọ First Bank láfẹ́ wa gangan ní símọ̀ wà. ó yẹ pé 08064476837 símọ̀.
Oh my God, I never believed until I have mine own. Wow. What a befitting sewing. All thanks to Vive Clothiers. Apart from this party outfit, oríṣiríṣi aṣọ ní tún bẹ lọ́dọ̀ wọn tó bára ẹni mo rẹ́gí bí ẹni pé wọ́n bí mọ́ nìní. Vive Clothiers tún ṣètò customized clothes. Ẹ lè mú aṣọ wá kí abayín dára sí tàbí kábayín rà á ká parí iṣẹ́ tiwa sí la. Àwa kì í yí àdéhùn lórí iṣẹ́ wa. No delay. We sell both ready to wear and custom orders. With Vive Clothiers, enjoy 10% discount on all our products. Kò sí aṣọ age, size tàbí gender tí ó wà available lọ́dọ̀ wa. We offer quality fashionable styles from our choice of fabrics to the finest of finishing. They are all affordable. To enjoy or purchase yours, just walking into the shop, 3rd floor, Glory House, number 30, Adato Road, Isaliakia, Belkuta. Or you order online through phone call or WhatsApp message 090-3987-8244 080-6789-1075 on Instagram at Vive Clothiers. Offer valid till end of May. Vive Clothiers, affordable and befitting.
ẹ má dá òtí ẹ̀. bàbá ń sọ nípa iléeṣẹ́ tó ń wá ìtẹ̀síwájú àti ìbàlẹ̀ ọkàn gbogbo ènìyàn. IAS Unique Homes and Properties nílé iṣẹ́ àwọn.
IAS Home and Properties Unique Balùwẹ̀ wọ́n kì í talẹ̀ kan ṣoṣo fẹ́ ní méjìlá. wọ́n lòdì sí kárẹ̀ ní jẹ́ kọ́pá.
ẹ̀yin olóríire o ẹ tètè wá jẹ àǹfààní ẹ̀dínwó tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ ní First Class City Ìkẹrẹ̀kú Ìdán tàǹtà ní 200,000 naira tẹ́lẹ̀ ó ti di 100,000 naira báyìí. ìrìn ìṣẹ́jú mẹ́jọ péré ni sí Òkè Àtà Highlander Member City Àjílété tó wà lọ́nà Alábàtà tàǹtà ní 500,000 naira tẹ́lẹ̀ ó ti di 200,000 naira báyìí. bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe ń ra àwọn ilẹ̀ yìí lẹ́dínwó yóò tún máa gba tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ tó fi rìnrìn àjò lọ sílùú Dubai lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ níparí oṣù karùn-ún yìí. tètè kàn sí iléeṣẹ́ IAS tó bá súnmọ́ ọ jùlọ tàbí kò pè wọ́n sórí 08092944848. May 25 láǹfààní yìí máa kásẹ̀ lẹ̀.
The world is becoming a jungle, crisis from every angle. This isn't good for children who flourish amidst a brethren. We have built a home for you where children flourish old and new. This is where the sun turns gold. A glimpse of the future makes us bold. Come, join us. Let us learn. Let us unlearn and relearn. The world evolves. We are prepared. We are leaders, not delayed. Nobel House College beckons on you to come and see the world anew. IGCSE, WAEC, Cambridge A-levels. One big school, different pathways. Join me at Nobel House College, Olusegun Obasanjo Hilltop Estate, Okemason, Abeokuta. Our entrance exam date is 28 May 2022. Forms are available both on our premises and our website. I'll look forward to seeing you.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
I like talk radio.
Welcome to your number one talk radio station.
Fasten your seatbelts.
This is your favorite station.
Splash FM 106.7.
Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama. Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
Thank you so much for staying with us. For those who are live on Facebook, you'll have seen some sort of drama going on in the background. We'll not explain exactly what it is.
I will explain.
No, don't explain anything, please. Don't allow them to say, so charge him, so charge her, all of that. Anyway, so we have to wrap up very shortly in about some 6 minutes or 8 minutes time now. So we should take calls from you listening to us. You've heard all of the stories that we've read and the ones that Dele has spoken extensively about to some degree. So feel free to call us now. Here are the numbers: 0704 400 1067, 0704 400 1067, 0817 444 1067, as well as 0705 050 1067. With those numbers, you'll be able to connect with us live in the studio. WhatsApp is 0817 555 1060. Do you have WhatsApp messages?
No, we don't have any comments on WhatsApp or on Facebook as of now. So while we wait for the phone calls, let's talk about the allegations. There's this battle of words between the presidency and the NEF concerning the allegations of secession comments from the NEF. Now, they are saying... All right, let's take this.
From this person. Hi, good morning. What's your name? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Hello, good morning.
We
This
can
is
hear
Tajudeen
you.
from Agbon.
Thanks for calling, Tajudeen. Go on.
Well, I'm not hearing, but I don't know if you are hearing me.
We can hear you. Just go on.
Still, I would like to ask, is there a possibility, do you think in the future there is a way by which the masses will have a say on the primary election? I'm not talking about the
talking at the party level.
Party members alone, in the masses generally, because looking at it, we've only been able to settle with whatever candidates that emerged from the primary election of the various parties, which means that if we think that this is not the right or the best candidate, as long as this is the candidate that emerged from the primary election, then we just have to go with the candidate. So going forward, is there a way by which you can have a say on the primary election? Thank you.
That's straightforward. It has never happened. I don't see how that will happen. It has never happened anywhere in the world where the entire population will from day one. So what you will do, if you want to be a part of those who decide it is you join the political party.
Okay.
That's why somebody like me advocates for the so-called direct party primary, where every member of the party decide. But for every population, every citizen, so that has never happened, and I don't see how that will happen.
The general elections itself.
All right. Here are the numbers once again for you to connect with us: 0817 444 1067, 0704 400 1067, as well as 0705 050 1067. We're about to
oh yes, we're talking about the battle. Yes. So what do you make of that?
I think that group has shown that they are very unpatriotic. They've been very divisive in their comments and actions. And believe it, almost all the names that I know them are those who have benefited heavily from the country called Nigeria in all ramifications. So I think they should be more patriotic. They should be more elderly in their thinking submission. Even when they see, or more sensitive too, even if that is the position that I think they should also consider the sensitivity of such comments before they come public.
Right.
All right, here are the numbers once again for you to join us: 0704 400 1067, 0817 444 1067, as well as 0705 050 1067. We have just about 3 more minutes to wrap up the whole conversation as it is. Let's talk about governors who have preferred candidates to succeed them when they leave office. There is one in Plateau State as we read this: the Plateau APC Guba primary gang up against Lalong's preferred aspirant. I mean, we've seen this happen time and again. We had our own fair share of this in Ogun State at the last general elections, and it was not successful, but we've seen it happen in other states, and I mean, it's proven successful. I mean, the balance.
Yeah, when you compare it with about 2-3 elections ago, I will want to say, yeah, it shows that we are advancing. We are getting more mature because it's getting more difficult for governors, successor to plant in. You have seen it everywhere, in Kano, in Osun, in Edo, in Ogun, just like you said. And of course, we're hearing the stories coming from Plateau. So it's getting more difficult. It's also happening in Rivers. As the territorial, as strong, iron as Wiki, you may want to think. People are challenging his preferred candidate or this person is looking at. So I think that's a sign that our democracy is getting, we are moving forward. It's getting moving away from the archaic and the crooked style that we had a few elections. Say for 2007, sorry, it's almost certain that whoever the governor points to is wins the game. So but things, we are moving away from that, and I think that is good.
Should the politicians also not come to terms with this reality that the people are getting more conscious about these things and deviate from such
the issue now is less of politician, it's more of the power inherent in you as a governor. You don't see yourself as just a politician. You actually don't see yourself just as a human being. You are a superhuman being. You are above everything. And that covers your face. It reduces the reality in your mental focus, and then the ability to actually see accurately becomes blindfolded. So it's not just about the politician. If he's not the governor, perhaps you will have seen that reality. Here in Ogun State, the last one we had, 2019, perhaps if it was not the power of God, the man should have seen it. That even if his party agree with him, that the voting population would disagree with him in that move to bring somebody that was not accepted.
All right. Before we wrap up, there's this call on Facebook, on Twitter rather. Good morning, Olohusoya Shamsudina Korede from Kemta Idiaba. I'm calling the attention of our state governor and those concerned of the bridge at Okeodo community by Kemta Idiaba Abeokuta. So for any reason anyone involved is listening, they can make do with that information what they will.
All right, so we're done here. We have to leave. Let's thank Dilayado for coming through for the second segment of the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, I am Gbenga Fayehun. Have a very fantastic day.
I am Odera Otaru. Enjoy the rest of your day.